is that I did grow up in a religious household. My parents are Hindu, and that was one of the things that made them such good parents.
My wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not in a particularly religious family in either direction.
Anything that I say, no matter how crazy, Usha has to smile and laugh and celebrate.
Imagine being Usha Vance's parents, immigrants who came from India in the 1970s, spoke Tulu, worked hard to build a peaceful life in America, and now watching your own son-in-law use your family as political ammunition. The same man who married into your culture is suddenly treating your heritage like a punchline just to score points with his base.
I don't know these people. They don't speak the same language that I do.
It gets even worse. New reports are circulating that JD Vance allegedly tried to pressure Usha's parents into converting to Christianity and even pushed them to convince Usha to convert as well. When that didn't work, insiders claim he began quietly shaming Usha for refusing and started spinning stories about her parents not being religious. Now everyone is asking the same question: how long can Usha tolerate this? She's already been spotted without her wedding ring, and the cracks are beginning to show. Meanwhile, JD keeps referring to their kids as if they're Usha's kids, almost as if he's laying groundwork for a potential split.
Converted? No, she hasn't. No, that's why I feel bad about it. Is she's got 3 kids. Obviously, I help with the kids, but because I'm kind of the one going to church, she feels like more responsibility to keep the kids.
What makes this even more disturbing is the history. When JD was at the lowest point in his life, it was his Hindu wife and her Hindu family who helped steady him. Yet now that political power has entered the picture, her religion is suddenly an inconvenience. JD is publicly poking fun at Usha's Hindu upbringing and acting like her faith and the family that passed it down are something she should abandon to fit his new image. 3 continued. And then there's the shade. JD recently implied Usha's family wasn't very religious to begin with. But that doesn't line up with reality. Usha herself has said, on video, that she was raised in a deeply religious home. She has openly credited Hinduism with shaping her parents into grounded, compassionate people. So JD's version doesn't just sound messy, it completely contradicts the words of his own wife.
Did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not in a particularly religious family in either direction. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that...
Their wedding makes this even more confusing. It was an interfaith ceremony with a Hindu priest offering blessings. Usha made it clear from day one that protecting her cultural and religious identity mattered to her. Yet JD is suddenly pushing a narrative that her family wasn't religious, all while appealing to a political base that tends to applaud assimilation. So is this carelessness? Or a carefully crafted excuse to justify a divorce later? And then the most explosive allegation. Some sources claim JD allegedly offered financial incentives to Usha's parents, Radha Krishna Chilakuri and Lakshmi Chilakuri, if they agreed to convert. The suggestion was that once they converted, Usha would follow. These claims are unverified and should be treated strictly as allegations, not established fact. But what is documented is JD Vance's bizarre belief that divorce is worse than attempted murder. In his memoir Hillbilly Elegy, he wrote about his grandmother trying to set his grandfather on fire, and still said he was glad they stayed married. So refusing to abandon your religion is a deal breaker, but attempted homicide isn't? Honestly, none of this is surprising. This is the same man who has reinvented himself repeatedly, changed his name, shifted his political identity, and went from publicly hating Trump to becoming Trump's loyal soldier. So throwing his wife and her heritage under the bus? Sadly, it fits the pattern. Meanwhile, the divorce rumors keep growing louder. During the November 25th turkey pardon, JD was all smiles while Usha stood off to the side looking exhausted and disconnected. The photos say everything. They weren't even moving like a couple. JD walked far ahead of her, as if they weren't attending the same event. And this isn't new. He's made years of little comments suggesting that marriage hasn't been smooth. He constantly takes jabs at Usha, even joking that when cameras are rolling, she has no choice but to smile and celebrate whatever nonsense he says.
Doing a great job as Second Lady of the United States, and I'm so proud to have her back by my side. And here's the thing, because the cameras are all on, anything that I say, no matter how crazy, Usha has to smile and laugh.
Another example? Trump's birthday parade in June. JD hyped up Trump and the military, then mentioned, almost as an afterthought, that it was also his wedding anniversary. No mention of Usha. No appreciation. Just a throwaway line. 6. But the most unsettling moment came during last year's Republican National Convention. JD used a national platform to essentially erase his wife's heritage, trying to reconcile his anti-immigrant rhetoric with being married to the daughter of Indian immigrants. He laid out his expectations loud and clear. He bragged about proposing by emphasizing his family's cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky, implying that Usha and their children would one day be buried there too. The message was unmistakable. Her identity, her culture, her South Asian heritage were expected to disappear. In JD's world, Usha was supposed to become fully absorbed into the Vance family's whiteness and his vision of real American identity.
June the 14th is, of course, the birthday of the Army. It is, of course, the birthday of the President of the United States. And happy birthday, Mr. President. But I would get in trouble if I didn't mention that it's also my wedding anniversary. And so to my lovely wife, I love you, honey. Happy anniversary. And thank you for everything that you do for our country.